All right, thank you so much, Carrie. Unfortunately, a dangerous, tragic time on our roads. 4 pedestrians killed within a 24-hour span here in the city of Toronto. Our Tammie Sutherland standing by now at Toronto Traffic Services with Constable Clint Stibbe with words of advice right now. Tammie.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll run through some of the tragic crashes that have happened over the last day and a half or so. Within 24 hours, 4 people killed, as you mentioned. We'll start off at Birchmount and Sinclair. This was yesterday afternoon. A man in his 50s was waiting for a bus when a car and a van collided and then slammed into the bus stop itself. He was pronounced dead on scene, and one of the drivers charged with impaired driving. And then a few hours later at McCowan and Steeles, a man in his 70s crossing mid-block when he was struck and killed as well. And then yesterday morning, we were telling you about that tragic story. A 33-year-old mother and her 5-year-old daughter both killed when they were struck by 2 vehicles while crossing Warden just north of Ellesmere. And with this rash of fatal crashes, we have Constable Clint Stibbe now from Toronto Traffic Services. Tell us a little bit about, your reaction when you hear that we have 4 of these in roughly the same area out in Scarborough as well within a 24-hour period.
Well, you know what? It's disappointing to say the least. I mean, we've lost 4 lives that didn't have to be lost. Decisions were made, errors were made by everybody, in fact. With vehicles traveling too quickly. In some cases, individuals crossing mid-block where there was no control. Individuals standing on areas of the roadway that they shouldn't be, or somebody drinking and now subsequently being involved in a crash as an impaired driver. So decisions are made. Unfortunately, what happens is as everything starts to come together, that's when we're looking at an individual being injured or even killed as a result of a decision that one or a number of people have made. So we have the Vision Zero that's running in the City of Toronto. The goal is to have 0 fatalities in city streets within the next 5 years. It's a plan. It's a goal that we are all working to, but the government can't do it themselves. Everybody has to take a responsibility for their own safety. That's where if you are crossing mid-block, you have to know that you are taking a chance, and you've made that risk assessment that I think I can make it. The problem is if you're saying I think I can, that means you're taking a risk with your life. And unfortunately, that risk may result in your serious injury or death. And this is where we need to take those risks out of what you're doing. But at the same time, we need to make sure drivers are traveling at or below the posted speed limits. And unfortunately, quite often, the most common ticket we write as a service is speeding. So this is habitual behaviors on behalf of pedestrians, on behalf of drivers, in fact, on behalf of all road users making mistakes that are unfortunately leading to the death and injuries of individuals on the roadway.
All right. Thank you very much, Constable Clint Stibbe again. And Constable Stibbe also mentioned last half hour that of the 25 pedestrians who have been struck and killed by vehicles, 13 of them were crossing mid-block. Mel, I'll send it back to you for now.
All right, Tammie Sutherland, thank you for that. Well, we are following the story of the Duke of Connaught Public School. This is near Queen and Greenwood. It is going to remain in a hold and secure situation today as a precaution. This is because of an undisclosed threat. Now, that's going to mean that all the exterior doors will be locked. Students and staff will not go outside during recess or lunch breaks. Police searched the school yesterday, and nothing of concern was located, but officers will be back, they say, this morning, and they're expected to remain throughout the day. Now, events yesterday, they were either canceled or postponed, including a Terry Fox run. The school expected to update the status later on this morning, and of course, we will follow that. The Invictus Games coming to an end tomorrow, of course, are going to be the closing ceremonies, but there are a number of events that you can take in today, including archery that's happening at 9 a.m. at Fort York. Tickets, by the way, are free. Wheelchair basketball, that's going to be happening at 11 a.m. at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre. Tickets are just $25. And there's also swimming that's happening at 7 p.m. at the Pan Am Sports Centre. Tickets are also $25 for that one.